Good morning, it's Monday the 12th and the soybeans are looking great. We got some decent rain on the weekend here and everything's perked up pretty good. We got lots of flowers going on in here. So these are looking real nice, real nice. They're knee tall on me now. So that's pretty good for this area. Checking out one of my corn trials and everything here is looking pretty good. Can't see any differences with the naked eye in here, but I'll probably fly the drone when the fog lifts off. But we are silking and tasseling in here pretty good now, so everything's looking good now. Well, it looks like I took the wrong week to go on vacation, because when I came back my pea trial is gone. So no data out of this one. Sweeping some canola fields down by Brockett today, and we're starting to see a little bit of color change in here now. This field in particular is probably averaging about 20% color change now. Some areas are still dead green, some areas are more advanced than that, but we are starting to see a much increased amount of insects in here. So this is mostly Lygus nymphs, looking like mostly 3 to 4 instars, so they're just starting to feed. Not a whole pile of adults, there's probably only about 10 adults in here, but you can see the pressure is going to be pretty high in another week or two in here. But by that time the canola will pretty much already be, ready to swath, so it won't be that big of a deal. Irrigated wheat by Colhurst is coming along well this week. We're still moving into the hard dough stage here. Still a fair bit of moisture in the kernels. As you can see, we do still have some mosaic starting to move through here, transmitted by aphids and mites. And yeah, not much you can do about it at this stage. It's viral infection, so fungicides are ineffective. Well, the remaining fall rye near Colhurst is getting pretty close to being able to be combined. We just need to wait for the weather to improve and for it to dry down at this point. But there is quite a bit of ergot in here. We're going to have to be very careful with what the analysis says once the harvest is done, whether it's safe to feed or not. Here's the irrigated canola field with a little bit of blackleg going on in there. You can see here we got a dead plant in here. So when you trace that down to the bottom and you pull him out, you can see that root is badly rotted off. See if I can cut it here on camera without my tripod. There you go. You can clearly see the blackleg in there now. Not uncommon in irrigated fields. You'll always have it. Here's an off-type canola in an irrigated canola field. So this is either something that slipped through from the hybridization process in the seed plant, or it's a volunteer from 3-4 years ago. But it's a very tall plant, and there's quite a few of them out here actually. Here's some diseased wheat I just pulled out of a field. So we have a little bit of take-all going on down here. We've got these black areas, lower stem. It's a little bit on the shiny side, and that's usually a good indication to take all. We've also got stagnospora going on some of these heads. You can see the black pycnidia spots on these glooms here, and you can see that there is a few kind of throughout this field here. Well, just had to call for a tow the first time this year. Yeah, pivot access road was dry right up till this point. Then you get your front tire stuck in a pivot track, and with the stock tires on there, you can see they just turn into goo. And yeah, there ain't no getting out of that. Here's something you don't see every day in a canola field. We got pretty good a shot of rain here over the weekend, and you can actually see these little sclerotia mushrooms are coming up in here. And you can see a little bit here on the stem on this plant. So it is definitely around. Here's one of the risks of what happens when you have canola in a drought situation as it gets mature. Now in the last week we've had 2 good rainstorms here. You can see this canola is starting to regrow, and if we don't desiccate this right away or swath it, we're going to end up having flowers in here again in about a week. Alright, first off I got to apologize for any bad information in last week's video as far as desiccation timing goes. What I really showed was the desiccation timing for your more conventional glyphosate and heat application. For Reglone now they want you to apply it a little bit later at basically 90% full color change. So I'll show you that on this plant here. Fold back all of our branches. So now we're left with the main stem here. We want to be looking for solid color change, which is what this is, not just modeling when it comes to Reglone now. So they want at least 90% solid color change. So in this case we're definitely there. We're basically 100% color change all the way up, and there's basically no modeling at all. They also want you to assess the side branches now to make sure that there's color change going on in here and that there's no, you know, dead green seeds, and that looks like it's the case here, which I'm not surprised is a pretty drought-stricken field here. So it's all looking pretty good. So we're at a good point here for a Regulon ion application. However, in this field, I think we're still going to do glyphosate and heat, just because there's quite a bit of regrowth starting in the lower canopy due to the rain we've had in the last 2 weeks. As well, there's some pretty big patches of gopher damage in the field, and that's still very green, so we want to burn that right down and kill it proper. Is staging some more canola for swath desiccation timing. This field is kind of averaging about 70 to 80% color change, which is good for glyphosate and heat application or for swathing. Not really ready for Regulon yet, but that storm is starting to get closer. Starting to hear a little bit of rumbling going on now, so hopefully nothing serious tonight. Definitely starting to get a little bit closer now. I'm by Picture Butte right now, and this is just to the northwest of me, and it's coming closer. Oats are looking good though. Oh, I wasn't quick enough. I couldn't get out of the way of the storm in time. Yeah, that's some pretty intense hail. Some of this stuff was loony size. I'm lucky I didn't end up with any dents in the truck. If it wasn't for that hay shed, I would. Alright, well, how's that for fresh hail damage? This is right on the north shore of Kehoe Lake. And we got, this would be, maybe pea size, maybe a little bit bigger hail. And we've got quite a few damaged stripped heads in here now. This was just from like 15 minutes ago, literally. Here's a wheat field just west of Barron's, and this got hailed about a half hour ago. You can see we lost a lot in the heads here. There's not a whole lot left, and you can see it was fairly small hail, but it was sure intense to be this thick on the ground. Here, this fat bugger is a Mormon cricket. Actually not a cricket, it's a type of katydid. And they got their name from the Mormon settlers in Utah that encountered them by the millions down there. They are known to swarm and cause significant crop damage in high numbers. They also eat each other as well as other grasshoppers and small insects. So yeah, they're an interesting thing. They're pretty big. This guy's about 1.5 inches long, so significant size. And now it's time for question of the week. Comment below with your answer and your farm name, and tell me what this weed is, and you'll be entered to win a Agro Plus t-shirt and hat. Well, there's not as much harvesting going on this week as I thought there would be due to the rain and the hail, but we are getting some peas done down by McGrath, so stay tuned for 30 seconds of drone video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.